This week, we're at the Ironman World Championship in Kona, Hawaii, and follow the trials and tribulations of Europe's top Ironman athletes. Can Waylett and Van Hooneke break the Australian dominance of the last 5 years? And who will take over the crown of four-time champion Chrissie Wellington? Only the race on the lava island holds the answers. Once a year, the volcanic island of Kona, Hawaii, provides the picturesque setting for the hardest one-day endurance challenge in the world, the Ironman World Championship. This is the event every professional Ironman athlete lives for.
This is the race you are looking forward to the whole year. It's the big deal, the big race of the year. So if you can win this one, then it's the Hall of Fame.
This is Kona, this is the World Championships, and this is what we prepare to race for all year. And a win here can change your life.
Winning would mean everything. Absolutely. I mean, it's like a dream for everyone.
It's everything in my life. It's been everything in my life for the last 15 years, or let's say 95%.
I was watching the race for 17 years from the sidelines, and now I'm in. It's just great. It's history, and you could breathe it, you could feel it.
It is the Super Bowl, and I'm excited, but I've been excited for 12 months. I can maintain the rage all year. I'm excited in January, February, March. That's what gets me out the door.
There's something about this race that really shocks people. Either the heat, the wind, the temperature.
It's not just swim, bike, run. There's nutritional challenges, the heat, the humidity. You get to know a couple of really dark spots in your soul when you're out there, especially out in the energy lab when you're really out of energy.
Along the lava fields, you don't have a lot of people watching you or cheering you on, but you know, in the mental preparation, you know what's going to come.
It's like a roller coaster, and even the best athletes in the world, they start to struggle at some point in the race when it starts to hurt.
I always hear people talking about, 70% or sometimes 90% is the mind. It doesn't matter how strong your head is. If the legs say, you're done, we're not working anymore, you're done.
The who's who of the Ironman elite are in Kona to battle it out for the most coveted title in the sport. And there are a number of athletes in the running for the top spots.
I think we have 25 athletes that have a realistic chance to be in the top 10. And we have at least 10 people that can make a podium. So it really depends on the form, the condition of the day. There's Crowe, there's Maka, Andreas Waylett, there's Van Hooneke.
I won 10 Ironmans now in 8 years' time. I only lost one Ironman outside of this race. I think this is, maybe I did 3 good races out of 10 over here, so it's really something different. This year we trained a little bit with a plan in mind, with a tactical plan. So yeah, I tried to put my stamp a little bit on things and squeeze whatever needs to be squeezed to get it more into my direction.
I'm excited about the good field and the possibility to race them. And it's great to also get the respect from the others, and that's just a very nice situation.
For me, a realistic goal is top 10. I want to make that top 10 for sure, but then if everything turns well on the day, if there's a better place than 10th place in sight, I won't let it.
I'm very confident that I can perform on the same level as I did over the last 3 years, but only one athlete can win this race, and Crowe and Maka did it in the past, and that's why they are champions.
I'm reactionary to myself, what I think is going to deliver the best performance for myself. Everyone else, he's caught up in what he's doing and his strength, and you know, obviously you're in a race, so you can't be ignorant of your competition, and we've raced each other for 10 years, so we know each other, but you have to play to your own strengths.
In the absence of 2011 world champion Chrissie Wellington, the women's field is wide open and a handful of athletes are in with a chance for the title.
Having Chrissie gone, it seems like the girls perceive that there's an opening for the win. I think before, I certainly was trying to take her down, but I think a lot of other people, and the general consensus was that she was unbeatable. In the end, she kind of was unbeatable.
This race for me, I think over time I've got to, well, racing now, here now for the 6th time, I've got a sense of pacing which I never used to have. And I feel, for me, it's not about going harder, it's about holding back that makes me a better athlete over the Ironman distance.
Just looking at the way the women are riding and the way they're getting quicker on the run, you know, I've got to change. If I want to keep being competitive, if I want to keep, you know, getting podiums in races like this, then I needed to make a change and, you know, strengthen the bike and strengthen the swim.
It's way less pressure than last year. Even people think I'm the favorite. It's hard to explain, but I don't feel that big pressure which I had last year.
The 3.8-kilometer swim course in Kailua Bay is an elongated rectangle that is more than 1,600 meters long and 100 meters wide. The race start is only seconds away. This is the moment every Ironman athlete in the world has lived for all year. The tension is palpable. Who will become the ultimate Ironman world champion? And finally, the start gun fires, and the holy grail of Ironman racing has started. More than 1,500 Ironman athletes start the most challenging one-day journey of their lives and turn Kailua Bay into a washing machine of frenzied activity. It's a spectacular sight, and straight from the start the pace is frenetic as everyone tries to fight for a good position in the water. In the men's field, a group of about 10 athletes try to break away, as the women are still packed in a tight group. Amanda Stevens, however, soon takes control, and the American proves once again that she is the strongest swimmer in the women's field, clocking average times of 1:25 per 100 meters. At the front of the men's field, a lead group with Andy Potts, Marco Albert and Rasmus Henning set the pace. It's a fast swim, and at the halfway mark, Potts and Albert have escaped from the rest of the field. But it's a narrow lead ahead of the chase pack, who follow in their wake. Swimming at a speed of 1:18 per 100 meters, Potts and Albert increase the pace on the home straight and extend the gap between themselves and the chasers. With Kailua Pier in sight, Potts and Albert are in control of the race, but they both know there is a long day ahead of them. Just before reaching the pier, Estonia's Albert can't keep up with Potts anymore, and the American is now the lone leader. Andy Potts is the first man out of the water, and for the 3rd time in 4 Kona starts, the 35-year-old American is the fastest swimmer at the Ironman World Championship. He's closely followed by Marco Albert from Estonia, and the chase group with Andy Böcherer, Pete Jacobs and Paul Matthews is almost a minute behind. Knowing the feeling from previous years, Potts is the first man out on the bike course, and he knows he now has got a target on his back. As second place Mark Albert starts the chase, one of the big favourites, Marina van Hooneke, already trails the leaders by almost 2 minutes. In the second group of men, Mackenzie, O'Donnell, Matthews and Craig Alexander all start the bike chase, looking to hunt down Potts as quickly as possible. In the women's race, Amanda Stevens swims along the pier and is the first woman to exit the water. It's a familiar sight, as Stevens pretty much leads every single Ironman she does after the swim. She's followed in second place by fellow American Meredith Kessler, with Gina Crawford in third, Leander Kay fourth, and Mary Beth Ellis in fifth. Stevens is out on the bike course, and she knows that with less than a minute's advantage, the chasers will soon catch her. Mary Beth Ellis and Amy Marsh, 2 of the toughest competitors on the circuit, are the first to follow her out onto the bike course. After the break, how long can Andy Potts and Amanda Stevens hold on to their leads? And who will win the Ironman World Championship? We are back at the Ironman World Championship in Kona, Hawaii. The 180-kilometer bike course runs from Palani Road onto the Queen K Highway and travels north to Harvey, where it turns back to the finish line in town. Out on the bike course, American Andy Potts is in the lead. But after a few kilometers, he gets caught by Australian Luke McKenzie, who flies past him. Close in third is defending champion Craig Alexander, who looks determined to win his third title. Andreas Reilert had an untypically bad swim and trails the leaders by almost 5 minutes. Sebastian Kienle has an even bigger deficit, but he's a beast on the bike and soon he overtakes Reilert. At the front, McKenzie and Potts. In the women's race, Amanda Stevens rides the first kilometers on her own. But how long can she keep her lead? Back with the men, and the chasing pack catches up with race leader McKenzie, and the race is wide open again. Amongst the chasers is previous Kona winner Faris El Sultan from Germany, last year's third place finisher Pete Jacobs from Australia, and Belgium's Frederik van Leerde. Already minutes behind the lead group, double Kona champion Chris McCormack.
Boys are pushing it up front. Shit. What a difference a year makes, eh?
At the sharp end of the women's field, Amanda Stevens knows that the chasers are onto her, and Leander Cave is the first woman to fly past. The English triathlete leads a group of 4 women, and soon Switzerland's Caroline Steffen takes control of the race. She overtakes Cave and now sets the pace ahead of the rest of the lead group with Cave, Mary Beth Ellis and Stevens. Trailing by more than 4 minutes after the swim, Australia's Marinda Carfrae has a mountain to climb to catch up to the leaders. In the men's race, the lead group still races together, but further back, German Sebastian Kienle shows his biking credentials, setting the best bike splits as he seemingly flies past 2-time Ironman champ Chris McCormack. In the women's race, Leander Cave is now back in the lead, but it's a tight race, and the 4 leading ladies, Stevens, Cave, Ellis and Steffen, constantly swap the lead positions. Riding together so closely, there's always the danger of drafting. And with the writing on the wall, Caroline Steffen is the first who has to sit out a 4-minute penalty for drafting. A tough wait for Steffen, as the other 3 women race ahead and leave her behind. In the men's race, Luke McKenzie is still leading the group, but Belgium's Marino van Hooneke has worked his way up the ranks, and now the European champion pounces on McKenzie. The Belgian looks strong and determined, and as he paces ahead of the rest of the field, van Hooneke now wants to leave his mark on the race. As the infamous crosswinds on the Queen K Highway pick up, Sebastian Kienle from Germany is the only one who stays within striking distance of van Hooneke. Kienle, meanwhile, is giving lessons in how to bike. But at the 90-kilometer turning point in Harvey, van Hooneke is still in the lead, closely followed by Germany's Uber-biker Sebastian Kienle, who is now only 34 seconds behind van Hooneke and is still the man with the fastest bike splits. In third, fourth and fifth place, McKenzie, Guillaume and van Leerde. As Marino van Hooneke chases his dream of winning in Kona, Sebastian Kienle really piles on the pressure, and soon he overtakes the Belgian. Now the young German 70.3 world champion is the man to chase. In the women's field, Caroline Steffen fights her way back into the race. She's again up with the leading ladies and is now back in third place. But soon she overtakes Mary Beth Ellis and Leander Cave as she starts to take control of the race. Germany's Sebastian Kienle has found his rhythm and powers ahead of Marino van Hooneke. At this point of the race, the two look unbeatable. But soon Kienle appears to have problems, and European champion van Hooneke overtakes the young German. And then disaster strikes for Kienle, forced to stop with a flat tire.
Where is the thing for the breakaway group? Where are they talking about? Huh?
scheiße, ey.
As rider after rider flies past Kienle, the frustration mounts, and the 70.3 world champion knows it's going to be a difficult chase. He has lost more than 6 minutes due to the puncture. Marino van Hooneke is now alone at the front of the race, and the Belgian looks to capitalize on his lead over the chase group with Buckle, Van Lierde and Jacobs, who rally together to catch Van Hooneke. But despite their best efforts, Marino van Hooneke manages to extend his lead and is in control of the race. It looks like his race plan is working. Leander Cave is the second woman to sit out a 4-minute penalty for drafting. And now Caroline Steffen is back in the driving seat, but the Swiss Miss has American Mary Beth Ellis hot on her heels. It's a tight race indeed. At the front, Marino van Hooneke is in cruise control, but the Belgian now has 2 new chasers. His compatriot Frederik van Lierde, who is looking for his first ever podium, and Australia's Pete Jacobs. As the temperature rises, the race heats up as well. Chasing again from behind, Sebastian Kienle, who again posts the fastest bike splits. Fellow German Andreas Raelert also tries his best to make up time that he lost on the swim. Raelert's biggest European rival, Marino van Hooneke, finishes the bike course as clear leader. As he sprints to transition, the 36-year-old Belgian must be encouraged by his strong bike performance. Will this finally be his big day? With Marino van Hooneke already out on the run course, Australia's Pete Jacobs arrives into transition in second place, followed by Luxembourg's Dirk Bockel, who's racing with a broken hand. In fourth place, Frederik van Lierde, and in fifth, 2005 Kona champion Farisal Sultan. After the swim and the bike, Van Hooneke is 8.5 minutes ahead of Jacobs and Buckle. With the men well into the run, the ladies' leader Mary Beth Ellis dismounts her bike, followed by Switzerland's Caroline Steffen in second place. Leander Cave follows in third, and at this point Ellis and Steffen have a 4-minute lead on Cave. After a quick transition, Caroline Steffen is the first woman out onto the run course. The 42.2-kilometer marathon course is the world's toughest, with the Energy Lab on Ali Drive being the critical point. As the temperature soars into the high 30s, race leader Marino van Hooneke knows that he's got more than 8 minutes on the chase pack. However, early into the run, van Hooneke looks exhausted. Pete Jacobs in second looks relaxed and gains time on van Hooneke. Kienle in third, and Farisal Sultan in fourth also post better splits than the leader. Van Hooneke, though, is one of the toughest competitors on the international circuit, and although he looks exhausted, the Belgian will battle on right until the end. At the first turn point, second-placed Pete Jacobs is closing the gap on Van Hooneke even more. Sebastian Kienle, having the race of his life, follows in third, with Bockel now in fourth and Al Sultan in fifth. This race is far from over. Belgium's Frederik van Lierde and Germany's Andreas Raelert are still in the mix. In the women's race, Caroline Steffen dominates the proceedings, and the Swiss Miss looks like she's found her stride. Could she be racing to her first Kona victory? For now, it's too early to tell. American Mary Beth Ellis in second place, and Great Britain's Leander Cave in third stay in striking distance. At the front of the race, disaster strikes for Marino van Hooneke. The Belgian struggles to continue the run, and he is clearly in pain. These are those dark places no Ironman athlete wants to enter. Can his mind win over his body. It doesn't look like it. Van Honecker is a beaten man, and his mentor Norman Studler urges him to stop.
Don't go any further. It's just a race. It's just sport, not more.
As Van Honecker gets driven away in an ambulance, the race is now in Pete Jacobs' hands. The Australian looks fresh by comparison, and as he powers ahead in the energy lab, this is now a race for him to lose. Jacobs' main rival is now Sebastian Kienle. The German is having a phenomenal day, but he's more than 5 minutes behind Jacobs. Faris Al-Sultan has moved up into third. Andreas Raelert and Frederik van Lierde run shoulder to shoulder in fourth and fifth. Despite his weak swim, Raelert is back in the mix, and another Belgian, van Lierde, is having a great day. The race for the podium places is wide open. With Pete Jacobs powering ahead, Kienle, Raelert, Al-Sultan and van Lierde are all in with a shout. In the women's race, Caroline Steffen is still in the lead, but the Swiss athlete has been here before. Despite looking strong, the woman they call Zina knows that her closest rival, Leander Cave, is a fast runner. An English athlete is closing the gap with every passing kilometre, determined to hunt down Steffen. Now in third lurks the strongest runner, Marinda Carfrae, but Cave unexpectedly fends off her charge and stays in second place, fully focused on chasing down Steffen. Carfrae trailing around 40 seconds behind Cave in third place. Up front, Pete Jacobs is now in complete control of the race. Germany's Andreas Raelert continues his sensational fight back and has moved into second, with van Lierde and Kienle battling it out for third and fourth. Kienle looks like he's lost too much power chasing on the bike, and van Lierde charges ahead to hunt down Raelert. As he closes in on the German, he tries to overtake him on his blind side, but Raelert counters and they race shoulder to shoulder. The iron war for second and third place is on, and you can see the pain etched on Raelert's face. But the German is a fighter, and cheered on by one of his team members, he battles on despite the pain. Only a few kilometers from the finish line, Raelert makes his decisive move and powers ahead of van Lierde. In the women's field, Caroline Steffen's lead has been reduced kilometre by kilometre, and with Leander Cave now within striking distance, it must be a sense of déjà vu for Steffen, as she again loses a lead in Kona so close to the finish line. Easing past Steffen, Cave is now in control of the race, and very quickly the British athlete establishes her lead. What a nightmare for Steffen, who can't keep up with the fresher-looking Leander Cave, who is on the road to her first victory in Kona. In the men's race, it's a triumphant arrival on Ali'i Drive for Pete Jacobs. After Van Honecker's race exit, there was no stopping him, and Jacobs continues the rich Australian legacy in Kona, celebrating his first win on the Lava Island. Pete Jacobs, the 2012 Ironman World Champion.
I'm really excited to have won, and surprised as well. And it's just such a great feeling to fulfill my dream.
In second place, with his fourth Kona podium, Andreas Raelert from Germany. Personally, I'm very happy with the second place. I haven't lost the first place, but fought really hard to get second. I've lost a few years life expectancy today, and I can't remember a tougher finish. And in third place, Frederik van Lierde with his first ever Kona podium.
It's the best race of my life, you know. It's a lot more worth than my victories in Ironman. This is third place in Hawaii.
The new women's Ironman world champion, Leander Cave.
It's a moment I'll cherish as long as I live. This is one of the most amazing feelings I've ever had. I mean, I won quite a few world championships over all the distances now, but this has to go down as one of the best that I've ever done and ever won.
Second place again for Caroline Steffen. I think it isn't a disgrace to be second at the World Championship in Hawaii, although not everything went according to plan the way I imagined it. In third place, with another Kona podium, Mirinda Carfrae. For every athlete, the finish line of the Ironman World Championship in Kona, Hawaii, is the culmination of months, if not years, of hard work and sacrifice. It's the home of dreams coming true.